So I'm at my house. Mike Davis is at his house. Leah Vaughn's at her house. Matthew Dillon's at his house. I'm assuming you guys are all at your houses, right? Y'all aren't somewhere else.
Not at Chuck E. Cheese.
Not at Chuck E. Cheese. Okay. I went with the blurred background for my Skype. Mike did too.
Yeah, we're blurring our backgrounds.
Hate it.
And Matthew are not blurring. So they'll look a little different for each one of us. But
what do you got to hide?
Well, this is fun because everybody is in their own space doing their own self-expressions. Matthew, I see you've placed a few items in the background. And Mike, you've blurred a few out.
That's right.
Leah's clock on the wall is correct, to be honest with you. That's pretty interesting. Anyways, we're going to be doing this show via Skype, and obviously under unique circumstances. So, yeah. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, Mike. You look a little blurry there.
I'm doing well. I feel better that my background's blurry. I'm only doing that just so we're all clear and for the record. We're only doing that because it annoys you. And I think that's also why Dale's blurring it. So Dale and I are doing it for no other reason than to annoy you. If at any point you start to like it, we'll just unblur. That being said, I'm doing great. We have been in seclusion or doing what you guys have been doing this whole week. And frankly, we've been able to work through our communications with the team and that kind of thing. So I feel good about that. My refrigerator went out, which was untimely, being that we, stocked a couple weeks worth of food. Our refrigerator and freezer went out. So that was fun yesterday, but we managed. And, but other than that, man, I just, I guess I'm like you guys. I mean, it's concerning with the spread of this virus, trying to be smart while also keeping business going and keeping our content for Dirty Mo Media going, which I know you guys have been helping out with. And Dale, watching Dale race yesterday was absolutely fun. We'll talk about that, but that's that's my update from Camp Davis here.
Leah?
Oh, all good here. A bit strange not being able to go out and do things, but we're fortunate because we're here in North Carolina and the weather's been really nice. So at least when I get tired of sitting at my kitchen table, I go out to my patio and sit out there and listen to the birds and get to enjoy that a little bit. So not too bad.
I think somebody started a dryer in the background. Who's doing laundry? Are you doing laundry, Leah?
So nope, that's my neighbors. So
what?
So I'm on a second floor apartment and I have garages beneath me.
They open their door.
And they open their garage door. So this is apartment life. It wasn't bad, but we had some new neighbors move in and there's like 4 younger kids living there and they don't believe in their front door. They just go in and out of the garage door. Well, I thought about it, but I wasn't sure how Wi-Fi would be out there. We have a hotspot, but I wasn't sure if it would be strong enough for this.
I understand. Matthew, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. This whole thing has been eye-opening, and it's been nice because there's so much divisiveness in the world. And I think I think people are starting to come together a little bit. I look at my neighbors and stuff. I haven't spent this much time outside with my kids in the backyard doing yard work, pushing them on swings. The neighbors come over, hang out, drink some beer.
You let your neighbors over?
Yeah, my neighbors just in the backyard. Nobody in the house, man.
God. Here we go. I knew it. Of all the rule breakers, we knew
6 feet apart.
If we had to pick who was going to be the rule breaker of the group.
That ain't a rule breaker.
It is.
I don't know.
Yes.
No.
You're
really?
supposed to. Yes, it's called social distancing. Is not inviting your neighbors over.
No.
That is the opposite.
They walk over. Barbecue. We're outside.
Hey, everybody. Party at Dilder's
We're outside.
house.
That doesn't matter. Oh my God.
I ain't gonna isolate that much. Come on, the kids have got to play.
I went to a state park on Saturday and we went hiking for 4 miles and we maybe saw a dozen people the whole time, but we never came in contact with anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
I'm not going inside with people.
I don't think they get how this works.
I don't think they do either.
And that banana bread looks good. Are you eating that intentionally during this recording?
I know, it's making me hungry.
Sure.
All
Sorry.
right. Social distancing, can't eat what he's eating. He didn't bring any for us, so we can't.
No shit.
It's social distance, and it's not rude.
So that's interesting. As I understand, so this is When all this stuff started kind of happening, I don't know, it seems like a long time ago, but it's not been that long. I was following it. I think pretty much like everybody else was following it. But I went to the store and bought a few things. I got some milk for Isla and just a couple frozen vegetables and stuff that would, because they were locking down Italy at the time. At least the upper half or northern part of Italy was getting locked down. A few other, places were getting pretty serious, but the states were still, they'd only had a few dozen cases at the most. And, but I was assuming that this was going to be where we are today. And so I went to the store and got some food that would last a while in case we were told to stay at the house. Because the one thing that, a lot of people are getting a lot of criticism for hoarding and buying too much toilet paper and all kinds of things like that. And but I kind of see both sides of it, because the thing is I take the social distancing very seriously, that aspect of it. And the reason why is because Amy's pregnant. If she gets the flu in this part of her pregnancy, there's risks. There's some minimal risk, but they're real risks. And I can't trust. I certainly don't know everything about this virus, and I don't know that I can get enough information, even if it's correct or false information out there. You can't. It's hard to find real good information about this because nobody really knows much about the virus. Nobody knows about the long-term effects that it's going to have on the people who have the virus and even recover from it. So this is all so new, right? So I don't want to, as a father and a potential, we're going to have another child, I don't want to take any chances. So I'm just going to err on the side of safety. That's been my approach since the very beginning. That means if in case that we are all told, hey, don't leave your house unless it's an emergency. That's happening now in the United States. I have enough, food. It's not what I want to eat, but it's enough food to last us a while. And I have all the things, the diapers, the wipes, and all the things to be able to. So in case I can't leave the house, and so with the social distancing part, we haven't really had any visitors. And Carson wanted to come over here to pick up some pork loin that I'd cooked. I was like, stopped her at the door, and I was like, all right, I got a series of questions you got to answer before you can come in. And so I take this stuff pretty seriously, but it's definitely scary times, and I think we all just need to be doing what we can to keep ourselves healthy, and that in turn keeps anybody else that we make in unintended contact with healthy. And because it is really crazy, and I think that doing the genealogy has sort of helped me understand just how easily a contagious virus could spread, because if you do your genealogy, you really get an idea of there are the size of your family tree, distant cousins. You know how many people are involved in your family tree just to connect you to your second or third cousin? It's crazy how many families that connects together. The one particular part of my genealogy where you can send in your DNA, and it sort of really gives you sort of a kind of a broad idea of who you're related to. It just tells you how if you kind of can compare that to you come in contact with one person, they've been in contact with 20 people, those 20 people been in contact with 20 other people individually. I mean, in one day, you've exposed yourself to a typical cold or a flu virus by the hundreds and maybe thousands of people in just one afternoon. Unsuspectedly, you've came in contact with that many people, even though physically you were only around maybe a dozen, right? It's pretty crazy. So the self-distancing thing is something that I take pretty seriously, and because the one thing, not only do I not want people to get sick, and we all have grandparents and folks that we know that are they're at-risk people. They don't have to be old. They could be recovering from severe illnesses like cancer and things like that. I think about Stacy, Sonny's wife. Her immune system is not in great shape after recovering from some physical things in her past. So she's an at-risk person that lives literally 100 yards away from me. So not only do I want to protect the health of the people around me, but we also got to get back to work, and we got to get back to the racetrack, and we got to get the country back on its feet economically, and so people can make a living. There's lots of people out there losing their jobs, and we need to stop that and get that turned around as fast as possible. And that means everybody taking this as serious as they possibly can. So that's all I really got to say about it. It's been really great to spend a lot of time at home with my family around Amy. I don't know that they're enjoying it much, but I was a hermit anyways, right? Before I met Amy, I wouldn't even leave the bus at the racetrack weekends. I would just sit in there and play video games, not have to talk to anybody, and be perfectly happy. So I'm kind of liking this isolation.